It's a football Friday, ladies and gentlemen, and Birds, Beers, and BS is back. Follow, like, subscribe. Let's get the shit show going. Wakanda.
Disconnect between the head coach and the GM.
Because
and
nobody
when you
sees
have
Howie's vision.
no, Howie's a freaking moron, and there's a reason why.
Howie, you got a moron.
Are you ever gonna let me freaking talk? God damn, bro!
Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Birds, Beers, and BS here on the AAT Sports Network. We are your hosts, myself, Eagle Jeff Warner, alongside my compadre here, Pina. And ladies and gentlemen, meaningful football is back.
Oh,
Eagles,
man.
Lions, Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock kickoff at Ford Field, a sold-out Ford Field. We'll dissect and break things down for Sunday's matchup between the Eagles and Lions just momentarily. But first off, let's pay some bills. I'd like to thank a couple of our sponsors here. I'd like to thank our friends at Stuff to the Grills in Allentown. You can order by calling 484-274-6760 or visit stufftothegrills.com for their full menu and specials. They have some great desserts, great sandwiches, and most importantly, great service.
Some desserts, too.
So I'll say, tremendous desserts. So again, make sure to check out stufftothegrills.com for their full menu and specials. They are located in the Old Town Shopping Center off the Iroquois Trail in Allentown. I'd like to also thank our friends at Vinny's Pizza and Restaurant. You can visit them also at the Iroquois, off the Iroquois Trail in the Old Town Shopping Center. They are available for takeout or delivery at 610-395-2300 or vinnyspizzapa.com. Make sure to check out their menu. They have daily and game day specials just for you as the football season is upon us. I'll say get some pizzas, get some cheesesteaks, get some strombolis, whatever you may need for your party. They're the ones that definitely hit up. So again, thank you to Vinny's Pizza and Restaurant for sponsoring the AT Sports Network, as well as stufftothegrills.com. So Peanut, look.
Oh, yeah.
Football is here, and look, I know we're optimistic. Heading into the season for the most part, as a lot of the experts do have the Eagles at least making the playoffs, maybe winning the division, some of them even winning the Super Bowl. But look, you have to go game by game, and right now, this upcoming week, we have the Detroit Lions, a team that went 3-11-1 or 3-14-1, whatever the hell it may be last year. They're a team that's still in the rebuild phase. They have a head coach, Dan Campbell, who, after seeing Hard Knocks, has been a fan favorite. At least in my eyes, he's a coach that you wish all franchises had, a guy that allows his team to be who they are. He's definitely a player's coach. They get a top pass rusher in the draft with Aiden Hutchinson, and they're hoping to resurgence Jared Goff's career with the playmakers that they have at the disposal with Amon-Ra St. Brown and DJ Clark. So, Peanut, I'll say, just going into this game, what are your initial thoughts? What's your feeling going to this game for the Philadelphia Eagles? I know some people, I feel like it's swinging both ways. There's a lot of people that think that the Eagles should blow them out because they're basing off last year's game where the Eagles trounced them 44-6. But once again, both teams are different. Yes, the Eagles have improved, but I feel the Lions have improved too, and they're somewhat on the upswing, I feel, for the most part. So, Peanut, give me your thoughts heading into this game.
I thought about before, it's weird. Last week, in my mind, I was one of those, we're going to blow them out kind of guys. But what Detroit lost a lot of close games last year. Like, it's not like they were. I have a feeling like this game's going to be a close game. It's going to be a hard-fought game that might come down to special teams and turnovers. So that being said, I think the Eagles will win this game, but I don't think it's going to be the blowout that people think it's going to be.
Well, you should have waited for that prediction. Okay, everyone, show's over. Peanut fucking ruined it all.
I'm out. Well, it's tough because
4 minutes and 58 seconds in, and Peanut already pretty much ended the show, telling us that the Eagles are winning. There we go.
Hold on.
What's the point of even breaking down this fucking game anymore, Peanut? Way to go.
Hold on.
Learn the flow of the show, Peanut.
Yo, hold on, man. You see, I don't know. It was you put me on the spot, man. What do you think? What's your analysis, King shit? What the fuck?
Look, it's of course all eyes are going to be on quarterback Jalen Hurts, and we finally get to see some meaningful football from our quarterback. Besides one series in the fucking preseason,
if he doesn't throw for 200 yards, is it a failure of a game for Jalen Hurts?
I'm not going to base off a single performance. Ultimately,
no, I'm talking about just the game itself. So,
I would say it's a failure. It all depends on the flow of the game. It depends how things go. Because remember, this team was the #1 rushing team in the National Football League last season, mainly because of Jalen Hurts' legs and his ability to be elusive and break free, quarterback sneaks, and able to with that read option of the zone run offense that the Eagles love to run so much, especially with a healthy offensive line. So I'm not going to base off success for Jalen Hurts based off of
just yardage and
just stats.
Okay.
Ultimately, yeah, you want him to be like Josh Allen. You want him to be accountable for 4 total touchdowns like Josh Allen was against the defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams on Thursday night.
Threw a couple picks, though.
Yeah, he threw a couple picks. Look, you're going to have turnovers. It's part of the game because that's the aggressive style of Josh Allen. But look, despite those turnovers, they have a stellar defense with Von Miller that was able to get pressure on Matthew Stafford, make him like a rag doll, forcing him like the old Matthew Stafford that he was in Detroit.
Yeah.
And you saw what a team can do when they have a stellar defense and a franchise-level quarterback like Josh Allen to helm. He's the guy that we expected Carson Wentz to be. That's the type of player that we expected Carson Wentz to be here when he was here in the city of Philadelphia.
Yeah, agreed with that.
But
I disagree with you, though. Oh, there it is.
Fuck off.
There it is. I disagree.
I swear it's his fucking basement.
It's all good. It's your basement. So I disagree with you. You got the receivers in place, and I get what you're saying, and I trust me, I agree with you to a point. I think this is the year, like, if we need to know if he's going to be the guy moving forward.
We do.
And this is the team that he could prove it. He could right out the gate, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he can.
I need some stats. I need some stats. I need less turnover, and I need the ball thrown through the air just to solidify that fact that Hurts can win in the air.
But Sirianni is not a type of coach that is just going to go out there and game plan just to prove people wrong and just try to show what he has.
I agree.
He's a guy of mismatches. And you look at last season, the Eagles led the NFL in rushing yards with almost 160 yards per game, while the Lions ranked 28th in rushing defense, allowing 131.1 yards per game. Mm-hmm. Even with Brown adding to the mix, Eagles aren't going to abandon their winning formula. So, look, I'll say
that won for them last year, though. You know what I'm saying?
It won for them last year, and I'm not saying this is going to be an 80% run offense because, look, you can't succeed at I guess you can. We've seen it in the past, but the way the NFL works today, you have to put up points. You have to learn to put up as many points as possible, and especially with the playmakers they have right now, adding A.J. Brown and a second-year wide receiver with Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert, who had a career year last year. I agree with you. We should not see success from Jalen Hurts at all because, look, he has the weapons at his disposal, and you're hoping that Sirianni is smart enough to game plan and utilize your weapons and utilize your strengths. But ultimately, he's going to look at the mismatches. They just added one of the best pass rushers in the NFL draft this past year with Aiden Hutchinson. Could he be a bust? Yes, but I'm not willing to find that out.
Especially not the first game.
Yeah, especially the first game. And look, our offensive line is healthy, but I feel we're going to see a lot of rust from this team. Despite I believing that the Eagles are going to have success against this Lions defense, I feel the fact that they haven't been able to get those reps in live game action besides these practices.
I agree.
I feel we're going to see some struggles. We're going to see some
flags.
We're going to see some flags. We're going to see some inconsistencies from this offense to an extent. I still feel they're going to be able to move the football efficiently because you see ultimately just the matchups. The Eagles should have success, especially with A.J. Brown going up against their cornerbacks right now. Look, they are a secondary that ain't built on playmakers. They have some decent quality players on the defense side of football with Hutchinson and some other guys, but the one matchup I'll say that's going to be very critical in this game is going to be the lineup of how can the Lions maintain and control A.J. Brown, because I feel that he's going to be the focal point for a lot of opposing defenses throughout this season. And you have guys like Mike Hughes and Jeff Okada, who's a former first-round pick who has not lived up to the expectations.
Right.
So you see that these offenses are going to find ways to try to eliminate A.J. Brown. It's going to open so many more things up in this offense.
Absolutely.
And the big thing is I don't want them to become too pass happy just because they have the weapons at their disposal. We still have to keep opposing offenses balanced and keep them on their toes the way you can quickly strike and quickly move the football down the field and open up the deep passing game with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Quez Watkins or Zach Pascal. And that's the thing I want to see. I want to see them build momentum. I want to see them be able to officially move the football and build that chemistry and build that momentum throughout the game.
Right.
And ultimately get in the end zone.
Yeah.
This is a team last year. Yeah, they were able to move the football efficiently from between the 20s. But when it came to the red zone, I believe they were one of the worst red zone offenses in the National Football League. And I'm hoping Jalen Hurts was able to work on his mechanics and work on his progressions and able to build that chemistry with his new wide receiver and his new weapons and this new offense that we're able to be one of the most. The expectations right now going to this season is that we should be a top five offense in the National Football League.
Well,
the one thing that we need to worry about in the question mark is this defense, which
I think the defense is going to be okay.
I'm hoping we have the pieces in place. It's the and I saw a weird stat today that I forget who posted it, but look. Everyone wants to bitch and complain, and I agree to a certain extent. Last year's defense was too vanilla. We need to see more aggressiveness from Jonathan Gannon and from this defense. And now that he finally has the pieces in place, I'm hoping we're seeing a lot more pass rush and a lot more different blitz packages, and from the safety, from the linebacker, and disguising a lot of different things on the defense side of football, especially going up against some of these elite quarterbacks. But there was a stat I saw today after yesterday's football game was that Josh Allen, he struggles, or I would say he struggled more last season and even last night's game when he wasn't blitzed.
When he wasn't blitzed.
Yeah.
So he's basically I see what you're saying. Okay.
So I would say,
when he was blitzed or when he wasn't.
When he wasn't blitzed, because when he was blitzed, I would say he still picked teams apart. So I would say you see, I forget the exact stat, but like he's had a lot. Everyone wants to think that it's the other way around.
Okay, when he was blitzed.
When he was blitzed, there because everyone thinks if you blitz more, you're going to attack a quarterback and you're going to pick them apart, or you're going to rattle them a little bit, which wasn't the case. I'll say when anytime someone brought 4-man pressure, I'll say he had some struggles because look. I'll say teams are allowing their front four to get after the quarterback and their defensive linemen to get after him and rattle them more, rather than leaving your defense vulnerable in the back end.
Who do you think on the defensive side of the ball is the most important piece that was added during the offseason?
For the season or for this game?
For this particular game.
I think it's gonna come down to the linebackers. Especially a position that this team has been lacking for so long.
Right.
The fact that we finally are seeing the development in the linebacking core and starting to see them go through the progressions of developing a linebacker. TJ Edwards, who's coming in their years to start, has looked well in training camp. They add Kaiser White, and especially going up against a running back core like DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams.
Facts.
You're going to need to shut down that run game. Jared Goff, he's a game manager. Yeah, he was the first overall pick in the NFL draft years ago.
Right.
But he's essentially, I feel, a guy sort of like Matt Ryan or Philip Rivers at this point, or he's in someone in the prime of his career. But I mean, he's a guy that he's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not that playmaking quarterback that's going to take over a game and be that leader to take your offense to the next level.
He's not going to single-handedly win a game.
Yeah, he's a nice quarterback, and look, he has some weapons at his disposal. Amon Ross St. Brown and DJ Clark are two quality wide receivers that he has weapons that we're gonna have some tests this week with our cornerback core with James Bradbury and Darius Slay. Sorry, Slay.
Don't say the D word.
Big play Slay.
Don't say the D word.
But ultimately, I feel it's gonna come down to stopping the run game. You force the Detroit Lions into second and third and longs, you're gonna win the battle. Yeah. Especially with adding Hassan Reddick and the pass rush that he brings, and having Brandon Graham back in the fold, and just a different style of defense. I feel that Jonathan Gannon's gonna run. I feel it's a good challenge to the part, and I feel it's a task that we should ultimately win in the end.
Basically, linebackers is the make or break of this, in your views of this game itself, and I actually agree with you on that.
Yeah, one. I feel the dangerous part of the Lions' offense is going to be the run game,
and they're starting CJ as safety this week, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
I think that's also part of it too, because you can line this guy up in different, like you were talking about, being more aggressive on the defense and these blitz packages, and now you finally have a player that could actually play the role that maybe Gannon is trying to do. And I hope I'm telling you, if he comes out and plays vanilla like he's been playing with all these new additions on the defense, at that point, want to wrap him up. Let's get rid of him, but I don't feel like that's going to be the situation. Also, I think Davis, Davis is a first and second down DT. Yeah. Excuse me. So if he's commanding double teams on the first and second down, then you have these linebackers that are able to go ahead and eat. So I think Davis was a big addition on the offseason with the draft pick.
Definitely clogging those holes, opening up the gaps for the linebacker.
Yeah, absolutely. Giving those linebackers opportunities to get in the backfield. And sorry, I'm not coughing. I choked on my own spit. But I think with Davis demanding double teams and giving these linebackers these opportunities, and having these linebackers, that we have now, I think we're going to see a totally different Philadelphia Eagles defense this year based off of that itself. So I agree with the linebackers, but I think it starts up front. And I think having Davis, if he plays, hopefully he does play at least, first, second down. I know he's probably not like a third, fourth down back, or third, fourth down defensive tackle, but you give these linebackers opportunities to make plays behind the line of scrimmage. Excuse me.
I'll say, because the one thing that I don't want the Eagles doing is overlooking this Lions team just because they were 3-13-1 a season ago.
Absolutely.
They were, despite the win-loss record, they were one of the better teams down the stretch of last year's season. I feel that Campbell is hoping to use that momentum. Granted, it's a different team than last year.
Right.
That he's going to try to use that momentum to build off of and motivate his guys to say, hey, look, we had success towards the end of last season. We are finally, it's a new year, restart week 1. Let's go back out there and show the world what we can actually do with this team. And look,
yeah,
I understand it's the Detroit Lions. It's a team that's been a losing franchise for over a decade now. But it's the National Football League. Any given day, any given Sunday, anything can happen on Sunday. If you let your guard down and you're not prepared, and the other team's better prepared,
absolutely,
they're gonna come out on top. It doesn't matter how talented or how good you are. If you don't execute the game plan and you're not out there performing to the best of your ability, that can catch up on you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, what, I don't think you're. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think you're worried so much for the players as you are for the coaching. If that's the case, you know what I'm saying? Having your team,
a little bit both.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm a little more worried about the coaching aspect of it sometimes. Like when I look at it, I'm like, I love Sirianni. He's a player's coach. He's a competitive guy. But we're talking about the same Sirianni that had to give up gameplay calling during games because it just wasn't working. Now maybe it was because he didn't have the players in place that he wanted, or whatever politics go into that. But I think Philadelphia fans are they're confident about the players we have. And I think they're nervous about the coaches that are in charge of these players, play calling, getting these guys ready. Maybe they shut us up, man. What I want to see this week, honestly, is a clean football game. Not that many penalties. Excuse me. And I want to see a good game play called. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see us reverting to just running because the past plays aren't working. We need to fix that. You know what I mean? Excuse me. I feel like there's a frog in my throat.
It's the time of the year.
It's the basement.
Wow,
it's the basement. No, I'm playing.
Probably asbestos somewhere or something.
Asbestos. He's got asbestos somewhere here. Yeah, you might. I don't know.
Or radon.
Radon. You just opened yourself up for a liability.
Oh, fucking well.
Peter gets radon poisoning. Next thing you know, his insurance company's getting hacked.
Look, I'll say that there's like this is a game that could make or break the Eagles' season. You never ever want to start the season 0-1. And this game, it's a great test to show where this team actually is. Agreed. Everyone has expectations of them right now going to this year as one of the elite teams in the NFC.
Right.
And I'm not saying the season is going to make or break after one game, because look, we see plenty of times where this team and this organization has turned the season around after a few bad games.
Right. Versus bad teams, though.
But again, this is a team that we should ultimately beat. The line, the Eagles are 4.5-point favorites. So look, they're not saying they're double-digit blowout type of team.
But it's a win-win.
They still expect the Eagles to win this game. The Eagles just have, I feel, way too much talent on both sides of the football for Detroit Lions to handle. And yeah, the Lions, I feel, are the upward swing, and they're a team that's on the rise. And maybe throughout the season is a team that might surprise you. But week one going against a team like Philadelphia that has a playmaking quarterback and the pieces that they added both on offense and defense, it's just going to be too much to handle. Yeah. And with the weaknesses along the Lions' defensive front, trying to stop a run game, it's going to be difficult because, look, Miles Sanders has been hurt, but he's now back full participant. He's expected to play. Possibly, I feel we might see some Trey Sermon that they picked up a couple weeks ago in the middle of the preseason.
Okay.
You have Kenneth Gainwell and, of course, Boston Scott. So it's going to be interesting to see what Nick Sirianni does, especially for a team that was so based off success of running the football last year, on how many running backs he's actually going to keep.
Yeah.
On the opening day active roster.
Yeah, what the rotation is going to be like and what it's going to look like too. I mean, I love Sanders. I think Sanders is a solid, not even solid. I think he's a premier running back. His problem is he can't stay healthy. Boston Scott's serviceable. I like to see what he's gonna do. Like listen, we got a whole new team, offense, defense, and I feel like everything should be new then. You know what I'm saying? Like if you got new players, you got all the players in place, you got a good offensive line, you got a good defensive line, you have receiving core. I mean, for the last 3 years, 2-3 years, we're talking about how dismal this receiving core was. Now you have an elite receiving core. Overnight, like we get AJ Brown, you got Smitty, who's I feel like Smitty's going to be the young sung hero of the season because the offense is revamped, the defense is revamped. Everyone's worried about my mom's calling me. Everyone's worried about these players. I'm worried about the coaches. Like, look, Hurts. That was brought to you by this right here. The coaches are on the hot seat just as much as Jalen Hurts is on the hot seat because you have to put these players in position to win at this point. You have all the chess pieces. Now you have to win. And I'm not so sure yet. And mind you, I like Sirianni. I like Gannon, but I'm not so sure yet. And I haven't been sold that these coaches can take this team to the promised land. That's just me. Howie did his job. For once, Howie did his job.
Oh, he did do his job.
He right? Say that again.
Howie did his job.
Howie did his job. Now it's Now it's on to the coaches. It's on to the trainers. Now you have everything you need. Go out there and perform, and make sure that you call the plays right. Make sure that you're putting players in positions to make plays. And if you're not, figure it out. Figure it out. I'm sorry. I laughed and I spit on you by accident.
COVID.
It's all good. It's not COVID.
COVID.
It's not COVID.
COVID.
You haven't coughed once. Oh, you did.
I did cough once.
You just didn't do the balling.
But look, I'm not trying to get too overhyped, and I'm not trying to get too excited for Sunday. But look, any win in the National Football League, it's a win. It's a win, and it's something to get excited about, no matter who you're playing. And this is the start of possibly a run for the Philadelphia Eagles, because if you win this game, you have a little bit extra time your home opener Monday Night Football against the Minnesota Vikings the following week,
which we will be at.
Birds, Beers, and BS. We'll be in attendance.
We in the
Monday
building.
Night Football against the Minnesota Vikings.
Yes, we will.
And then the following week, you go on the road against the Washington Commanders, which again we which we will also be at with the AT Sports Network with Philly Sports Trips. Our bus from Allentown to Washington. Yep. Limited time and limited seats left. The tickets, we extended the deadline. It will end on Sunday. Yeah. Sunday, the September 11th.
You're done.
It's over. So if you did not buy your tickets,
tough shit.
Yeah, you're shit out of luck. You're not going to be able to party at the Birds, Beers, and BS and AT Sports Network's crew. So if you're interested in attending, go to our Facebook or Twitter page. Hit one of us up. We'll get you the link, get you hooked up for a small price of $335. That gets you a lower-level ticket, gets you fancy bus transportation to and from the event, gets you a tailgate, gets you a T-shirt. So for all that, for that one small price might seem a lot, you get tremendous value. So again, hit one of us up. We'll get you the link, and you can party with us in Washington as we boo Carson Wentz. Hopefully
he's still there.
Yeah, hopefully he's still playing by then.
he might trip out the first game.
But then after the following week, you come back home against the Jacksonville Jaguars and Doug Peterson's return. So I'm not trying to get too far ahead of myself, but the matchups are, depending what type of team we see, on paper, it is favorable. Yeah. This could be a team that might start 4-0 and build that momentum and build that confidence throughout the season against some of those better teams as they get in the dark days of the NFL season against your division rivals, against some of the better teams in the National Football League.
Agreed.
If you got some type of run, anything can happen. We might be talking about a number one seed. We might be talking about a first-round bye. Who fucking knows? We don't know what's going to happen until the season starts. Game, no one expected – well, the Rams were underdogs yesterday, but no one expected the shellacking that the Buffalo Bills put on the defending Super Bowl champion. So
they made them look pretty stupid.
Ultimately, the NFC could be wide open.
Wide open.
And a wide-open division like the NFC East.
Yeah.
Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit for Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni and the Philadelphia Eagles. And let's hope we're going to be talking about a very successful season going forward for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Agreed. It sounds good, but listen, everything's in place. We bought the car. Now we just got to make sure the engine runs right. That's all it is. It all comes down to coaching, execution, and it comes down to the guy that holds the ball 90% or 99% of the game, Jalen Hurts. We'll see. We still got the Hurts alerts too. Don't forget about that. I'll bring that out next week. We'll bring it out.
We'll bring it on our recap show.
Yeah, we'll bring it. Oh, speaking of
2 shows a week we are doing. Hopefully, unless our schedules get in the way or something happens, we might do something Sunday depending how we feel. We might go do something Monday. We'll see how we
feel. Great Sunday. Well, not great.
We'll see how things go. But look, I'll say make sure you're following, liking, and subscribing all our social media platforms, from Facebook to Twitter to YouTube to Instagram, for all our great content on our platform, the AT Sports Network, and so you don't miss a single show. Look, we have Birds, Beers, and BS on the YouTube channel. So I'll say we upload it Friday, soon Thursdays, Fridays, whenever. If you're at home during your lunch break, on the treadmill, you want to listen to our podcast, make sure to check us out. You can also check out Chips and Drip. I'm sure he'll give Chip and Drip will give you their reactions to Sunday's win or loss on Monday evening on the AT Sports Network. We have Burning Bridges with former NFL player Jeremy Bridges. We have the Weekly Report, which Johnny has done a great job setting up some great guests leading up through the games of the season, to break down the upcoming games. So, look, you don't want to miss out. You don't want to miss on this great content and get you ready for game day. And look, we might be talking about a Red October, the Philadelphia Phillies. So some Phillies coverage in the works possibly. So,
I mean, there's so much going on right now. Why wouldn't you listen to us? Please listen to us.
And again, subscribe. You sounded so fucking desperate, dude.
Listen to us.
So, listening to us, supporting us. It goes a long way, and we greatly appreciate it. So, again, make sure you're leaving your comments, sharing out to your friends, send it to your coworker, send it to your grandma. I don't fucking care.
Take your grandma's phone and play it while she's sitting there eating her cookies. You know.
Here we go. The fake fucking views.
I'll take
I want legitimate views, damn it.
I'll take anything.
But, look, I'll say we have some great shows ahead of us here on the AT Sports Network. So, as we get out of here, Peanut, final few moments, final thoughts. What's your game prediction for Sunday's Eagles game against the Detroit Lions as they travel to Detroit in a sold-out Ford Field, which let's be real. It's mostly going to be fucking Eagles fans in that fucking arena.
Yeah, pretty much. Because even Detroiters don't go to the fucking Detroit
hell no.
games.
So tell me, what's your prediction, score, and who is your player of the game for Sunday?
Prediction: Eagles win a tight, tough fought game. I think there's going to be a lot of mistakes made, offense, defense, flags being thrown all game long. It's going to be tight. I'm going to say Eagles win 24-17. Excuse me. And the player of the game, honestly, is going to be Jalen Hurts.
Way to go out on a limb there, Peanut.
Yep, I did it. I said it. I think it's going to be a close game. He takes the control of the situation and uses his legs to win this game.
Look, I agree with you. Maybe for the first half, it might be somewhat close. The wear off some of that rust, get in the flow of things. I agree with you. I feel there might be a couple of mistakes here and there, but ultimately, Philadelphia is the better team. They're the ones that can live with the mistakes a little bit, and they're able to overcome those mistakes. I feel Jalen Hurts, yeah, he might struggle a little bit to try to get in the rhythm and try to develop that chemistry with his new wide receiving core in this offense. But ultimately, I feel after halftime, they're going to get things rolling, they're going to get things clicking, and they're really going to become unstoppable, especially on the offense side of the football. I feel they're going to control the clock. They're going to control the tempo, especially with this running game, which is going to open a lot of things up for the play action and the RPO with this offense. And you're going to see a lot of explosive plays in the second half of this game. I feel Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, I feel, are going to have both over 100-yard games.
Wow. Hold on. You're both of them are
going to have over 100-yard games.
That's bold.
That's my bold statement, as we used to have on the weekly report.
Johnny locked that.
Yeah, you like a lock.
That's a you like a
lock. Both wide receivers.
Over 100 yards?
Both starting wide receivers will have over 100 yards in this game. And I feel the player of the game is going to be A.J. Brown. He's going to have a breakout game in his Eagles debut. I feel like this is going to be a similar situation that we had with T.O. I'm not
80 yards down the thing.
Not to the extent of T.O.
Okay.
I don't feel he's going to have over 150 yards with 3 touchdowns.
Okay.
But I do feel we're going to see a tremendous impact. And this offense is just going to be too much of the Detroit Lions defense that is still in the rebuild mode. Yeah, they have some pieces. And I feel Aiden Hutchinson might be a force to be reckoned with. But I feel this offensive line is going to live up to the hype, and they're going to be they're going to be too good. They're going to control that pass rush, allow Jalen Hurts to give him time to deliver the football, and I'm hoping that we see a different Jalen Hurts at quarterback this season.
Same.
I'm hoping that we see the Jalen Hurts that we've been hearing about, that's able to go through his progressions, that's going to have that quick delivery, that's going to stand in the pocket a little bit more and not just break away and break down the pocket once it collapses and just run off immediately. I want to see a guy that's going to not put his body on the line too much where he's going to risk injury, and you can see him believing in his receivers, believing in the offense, and believing in his weapons, that they're able to move the ball efficiently. And with this wide receiving group, with Miles Sanders and hopefully Sermon and Gainwell or Bossagat, whoever they're going to have in that rotation, it's going to be a long day for the Detroit Lions, which is going to force the Lions and Jared Goff to make a lot of mistakes. And I feel they're going to be playing catch up. They're going to become one-dimensional, and it's going to open things up for our pass rush and different type of blitz packages for Jonathan Gannon. And I feel we're going to see a very aggressive style week 1. He's going to send a statement. I don't think we're going to see the full extent of his defense, because look, you don't want to show your hands week 1. You don't want to put too much on tape for opposing teams to game plan. But I feel it's gonna be close early, but the Eagles are gonna pull away, and they're ultimately gonna demolish the Detroit Lions. I'm gonna say 35 to 17. As the Philadelphia Eagles open the week 1, in my opinion, 1-0 on the road. And we're going to be having a happy Monday reaction, whatever hell.
Shit, we might go, if that's the case, we might go live during the fucking game.
Fuck it.
We're going to go live during the game. We'll be dancing and shit. Hell yeah.
Let's hope that's the case. But I'm very hopeful that this team is going to demolish the Detroit Lions. Nothing against the Detroit Lions. I'm rooting for them. After watching Hard Knocks this season.
I'm not rooting for them this week.
Not this week. I'm rooting for them for the season. I like Dan Campbell. I like Hutchinson. Goff is even a guy that's not like too bad, but ultimately, like you said, if he's going up against my team, I'm not rooting for him. I'm hoping they get fucking demolished. And I feel this is going to be a major boost and confidence for this team going forward, and we might see a magical run like I brought up before.
That would be great.
Let's
that would
hope.
be wonderful.
Granted, you still want some issues. You still want some problems. Look, because if we're just talking happy-go-lucky the whole fucking time,
I'm okay with that.
These shows are gonna get fucking boring.
All we gotta do is just turn the camera on. We're gonna fuck it up anyways. I fucked this show up like within the first 4 minutes.
Yeah, you did.
It happens. It happens.
Pretty much. But look, thank you again for tuning in to Birds, Beers, and BS here on the AT Sports Network.
Yes.
We'll hopefully have a reaction show either Sunday or Monday, depending how we feel. But next week, we have a great show on tap previewing the Eagles and Vikings matchup, Monday Night Football. Next Thursday, we will be recording with our friends from the Vikings Uncensored podcast, our boys Rhino and Brunswick. They will give us their thoughts and help us break down Monday's matchup against the Detroit Lions. So, again, make sure you don't miss next week's show. Maybe we go live, we don't. But again, the only way to watch any and all our shows on the AT Sports Network is by following, liking, subscribing.
Hit the notification bell, too.
And if you have any questions, any concerns, anything you might want us to address in next week's show, maybe ask the guys from the Vikings Uncensored podcast, hit us up. Maybe we'll reach out to them or bring it up on the show if it's good enough.
Word. Well said, Jeffrey.
I try.
Well said.
I try to be well-spoken sometimes. Other times, I'm just a fucking blithering idiot.
You excited about tomorrow's fight now that they changed the card?
What a fucking shit show.
Right?
What a fucking shit show.
They think this is the shit show. That was the fucking shit show.
I don't know what's worse. I don't know who has less control of their locker room right now, Dana White or Tony Khan right now in AEW. But look, again, make sure you're following, liking, subscribing. All our social media platforms will be back next week. And again, before we get out here, let's thank our sponsors here on the AT Sports Networks and Birds, Beers, and BS. I'd like to thank our friends at Stuff to the Grills in Allentown off Iroquois Trail in the Old Town Shopping Center. They can be reached at by calling 484-274-6760 or visiting stufftothegrills.com for a full menu and specials. They have daily and weekly specials that is to die for. Great desserts, great sandwiches.
Hell yeah.
And if you have an event coming up, a party, just an outing, a family get-together, whatever it may be, they do cater. So, again, if you're looking for a cater with great food at great prices, make sure to check out stufftothegrills.com and visit Stuff to the Grills in Allentown off the Iroquois Shopping Center, or off the Iroquois Trail in the Old Town Shopping Center.
In a nice part of Allentown.
Nice part of Allentown, not Coonsville. Like to also thank our friends at Vinny's Pizza and Restaurant in Allentown, again, also off Iroquois Trail in the Old Town Shopping Center. They are available for takeout or delivery at 610-395-2300 or visiting vinnyspizzapa.com. They also have some great game day and daily specials for you as well, from their steaks to their pizzas, to their hoagies, to their calzones, strombolis, whatever it may be. They have a great menu as well and some great food and great people. So tell them the Birds, Beers, and BS crew and the AT Sports Network sent you on over. They'll treat you like family. So, Peanut, look, week 1 in the books.
Yo, we're back, baby.
I'll say Eagle season is almost underway.
Yeah.
Only about less than 48 hours away till the Eagle season kicks off. I just feel we're a little bit too optimistic, but hey, we'll let the games play out. And ultimately, we're not the ones on the fucking field. We're just fucking fans.
Nah. And mind you, we just talk shit about them. Look, if they do bad, we talk shit. If they do great. We can come here and talk about how great they are. So
we'll see.
Listen, the optimism is there, but there's still that level of skepticism and concern.
Yeah.
We'll see. I want them to squash that. I don't want to watch every game feeling nervous. I want to go in there with a little bit of a pep in my step. So we'll see.
Again, next week's show, Vikings Uncensored crew, Rhino and Brunswick will be joining in the program as we dissect and break down the Eagles-Vikings game. And then every show here on Birds, Beers, and BS, I'm Eagle Jeff Warner. Follow me on Twitter at Jeff Warner NFL. He's Peanut. And you, thank you for watching another episode of Birds, Beers, and BS. As we say at the end of every show, drink him if you got him.